It was 2006. I was getting ready to enter high school, and it was like about midway through 8th grade. And my dad was sort of branching out. He was a manager at Staples in Greenwich for a while. He like ran the electronics department there, and my mom had like her cleaning business. My mom sort of gave my dad an ultimatum, and like this led to like a divorce and a bunch of things. And it was basically try to keep the family together or go and like start this new like dream or business of his. My dad chose to go and like follow his dream and like become independent and become like office owner. He basically decided to go ahead and do that himself. My mom obviously like didn't agree with this, and ties were severed. So I decided just on goodwill and faith to go ahead and follow my dad. Go ahead and support his dream, support his pursuits, because I saw like in his eyes the way that he talked, like the passion was just everywhere. This sort of led to us having a pretty difficult time with money. We were amidst like a bunch of poverty. Really, in terms of just like where I was, we were living in like attics sort of in Portchester, New York for a while, and it was like a 1-bedroom type deal. So I had like share matches with my dad. Like we had very little food. It was like value meals at McDonald's or Burger King. Those were like highlights, something I would look forward to. I didn't have like home cooked meals for a while, so that was pretty difficult. And I didn't really see my mom as much either. They were still going through like a bunch of court things. There were no windows in the room. There was like one little window above sort of like the left wall, and all you could see was maybe like a tree and like a fraction of the sky. Having that room as the only sort of thing that I could call home at that time really sort of gave me a exploration into myself and to see like what I was about, dealing in those sort of circumstances and seeing if I could indeed go and like persevere through those circumstances, because it's not easy. My dad had a hell of a difficult time with it as well, and it was like seeing him go through that and seeing this tiny office computer internet cafe store that started with like 1 employees and like maybe 4 computers. Now he has 4 businesses, and he employs about like 30 or 40 people. But it was that situation and those obstacles that sort of, gave me like a lot of this sort of just ability to just get through shit, and just actually like be able to conquer like my own fears, my own, inclinations of whether or not I'm good enough to do this, whether or not I should be able to do this, just things that I guess if you haven't had that obstacle in your life early on, or at least like maybe before college, a lot of these experiences are tough for people. That one room, sort of as restricting as it was very eye-opening in the sense that I was able to see what I didn't want. Being in a room like that, you're surrounded by a lot of things that you hope to never experience again. You don't want to like, as a kid, and you want to go play, and instead like all you can do is sort of just like play with the inner parts of a computer or like learn computer stuff, because there's really nothing else to do. But at that time, like I didn't really have too many friends, so it was just me and my dad really just trying to like skate by with like very little money, and putting all of our efforts. Like I helped my dad out with the company as well. So like in 8th, 9th grade, I was like, doing customer service, maintaining the computers, checking out the operating systems, making sure everything was in check. That sort of gave me a sense of discipline, which, every now and then kind of goes away. You don't have like the energy to do work and stuff, but still having that discipline to reach the goals that you set. I learned a lot from my dad that whole period of time. I guess it really says something about character and strength of character. And I think that when you're in one room like that, you always see what kind of room you want to get into next. So having that one room gave me the ability to sort of see what I wanted in the future. And as a kid in 8th grade in the ghetto of like New York, like seeing what I was stuck in, and like I remember in 8th grade thinking of where I would be 5 years from there, like hopefully in college, hopefully somewhere like cool in a dorm with like roommates from around the world, like very diverse. And like it's happened, I'm living in a house with like a bunch of very different people, and that kid in 8th grade didn't know where I would be in a couple years time. Who knows if like that if that perseverance that was instilled by my father hadn't, made such an impact, who knows where I would be now. But it was just that sort of circumstance that made us conquer our demons, our fears, and all of our hesitations that, were a part of us during that year. It's like really important that as human beings, we're conscious of these obstacles, because if we just brush them aside, disregard them as nothing, it doesn't really help you build on anything.